That's what you do. Really? We got some. I got them for you. The hard kind. That is right there. That's the hard kind. That's the hard kind too. You just want better. No. It is the same, isn't it? Commissioner Walker. Hello.
Because you haven't done it.
Hello? Hello? Okay, we're about to start in a minute. Okay.
Okay.
Ma'am?
Huh?
Okay.
I don't need to just, I haven't spoke directly to her.
I don't think. No, we sent an invocation.
Y'all trying
The
to.
invocation.
You want me to do it?
Light tonight.
Okay, we was trying to get Ms. Walker, Commissioner Walker.
She's on there.
Okay. And have we heard from the city attorney? Okay, it's running late. We can get started with that. Okay.
You took my pen.
Try to get started at 6 and a minute or two after 6. So. I call this workshop of the City Commission of the City of Pahokee to order Tuesday, January 23rd at 6:03 p.m. May we stand for the invocation given by Ms. Moss, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance.
Let us pray. Our gracious Heavenly Father, we thank you for the opportunity to come here to do your business about the city so that we may grow and prosper and bring new people back and get all involved in what we need to be doing and let the city grow and prosper and be a beacon for you. So be with us as we go through this meeting, as we shape the future for where we can go, and guide us and direct us in all that we say and do. In Christ's name, amen.
Amen. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Mayor Bab.
Present.
Vice Mayor Holmes. Commissioner Hill. Present. Commissioner Mervin.
present.
Commissioner Walker. City Manager.
Present.
City Attorney. Lieutenant Piccolo. Here. City Clerk. Present.
Okay, our city attorney is running a little late. He should be here shortly. I thank Ms. Linda Moss for the invocation, and I thank staff and city commissioners and each of you all for being here to participate in our workshop this afternoon. The workshop will be the topic of our agenda, and at this time, I'm going to turn this portion over to our city manager to kind of guide us in our topic that we will be discussing this afternoon.
Good evening, City of Pahokee. Thank you for coming out tonight. New year. I think this is our first commission meeting of 2018. So welcome everyone back for another prosperous year in the City of Pahokee. We have not a lengthy agenda, but we have several resolutions that we have to get off the table. And I'm excited about these resolutions because a lot of it has to do with construction and a little funding as well. So I'm excited about that. So we have Resolution 2018-01 that specifically discusses the advanced funding for the Commissioner's Park. What we've been trying to do and we've successfully achieved in doing with the state is getting some of our awarded funds advanced to us so we don't have to expend any of our funds and then wait for reimbursement. And so that resolution simply states that we're ready to accept those funds if awarded in advance at an earlier stage than reimbursement. 2018-02, that is the water treatment plant demolition. We're very excited that we've gone through that bid process. We selected a vendor. We have an agreement ready for tonight for approval by the commission. Once that agreement is done, we'll get started on the demolition here in about 2 weeks of the old water plant. So we're excited about that. Once that's done, that'll be shovel-ready property for future investment or something to be built on that specific property, hopefully adjacent to a has-been city hall and fire station, because we're going to go after additional funds this year for some demolition of that property as well. And of course, that's funded through the county. Resolution 2018-03, that's just a consent of money that we already have for the actual demolition that's about to take place. And that every time we get money outside of our general funds that's already been accounted for, we have to do a budget amendment. We've done this before. It's just a formality. This is not new money. This money has already been awarded and we've received. So we have to notate it in our budget to say we're doing a budget amendment in the budget overall for the fiscal year. 2018-04, again, that is the actual money that we received for the marina improvements. We already have this money. That was awarded last year. Again, we have to do a budget amendment for this fiscal year to show that we received that money on the books. 2018-05 is the Techno Marine. Again, this is related to our $1.2 million project for the marina. This is just an agreement saying we're ready for Techno Marine to start the construction at the marina, and this agreement certifies that tonight so they can get started with their construction. So some really good resolutions tonight that talks about what we were able to secure in last fiscal year from the state, and now these projects are ready to come off the shelf. I know it's been a while, and we've talked about, you know, getting started with some of these projects, but now you get to see what the hard work was for in 2017 as these projects began here in the city of Pahokee. And that's our resolutions for the night. If there are any questions about these resolutions, we'll certainly take those questions. I don't think there are any outside of the dates of getting started and the companies that were selected. But that is the bulk of the agenda tonight for the city of Pahokee Mayor and Commission. Pleases the commission, if there are no questions on the current agenda and resolutions, I can give you some additional updates from the city's perspective. Mayor?
Yes, that will be fine, city manager.
Okay, all right. I just want to first say that even though we're in 2018, we still got some stuff, you know, flowing over from 2017, and a lot of that has to do with our legislative efforts that we've been, I guess, developing in Tallahassee for the last almost 2.5, 3 years. We went to Palm Beach County Days about 2 weeks ago to represent the city of Pahokee, and we were well represented there throughout the county. And Pahokee had an opportunity with Commissioner Hill, Commissioner Mervin, to have a face-to-face with State Senate President, Senator Negron, who's our senator here in Pahokee throughout this district. We had a face-to-face with Representative Russo, and I had an individual meeting with the Secretary of Transportation the prior day. And we had an opportunity to also meet with the chair of the Appropriations Committee. So we got around the Capitol pretty good on that Wednesday and Tuesday. And we had an opportunity to discuss the future projects for the city of Pahokee. And they were well received. It's always good to be the first county to go up to Tallahassee during session because you can go first, get your projects out into the discussion, you know, and then as session continues, you can then go back at a later date as session progresses and they begin to really start talking about the budget and really sort of drive your points home from earlier. So you sort of get your conversation into the budget first. And so I really, you know, like that Palm Beach County has an opportunity to do that. But more specifically, this commission was represented very well. Senator Negron understood where we were with our current projects. He understood even the conversation about the marina and the leases and the commercial bid. I gave him a quick update on where we were. He seemed pleased of what the progress was. Of course, you know, we're a little behind, but that was okay. It happens like that sometimes, but he was receptive to where we're moving in the future, and he fully supports the current projects that we have on the table for 2018. So I want to thank Commissioner Mervin, Commissioner Hill, very professional, very engaged with our state representatives, and so they represented you very well there in Tallahassee. So we should be proud about that for Palm Beach County Days. I think I spoke about demolition. That's about to occur here in about 2 to 3 weeks. Once this agreement is approved tonight, you'll see a rapid mobilization for that demolition there at the corner of South Lake and Main Street. And so there'll be some traffic pattern things that'll be occurring off and on for the visitors that are going up to the marina. So expect that over the next, I don't know how long it's going to take them, probably for the next 30 to 45 days. Probably a little longer than that, because once they get the structure down, they have to do some landscaping and ensure that the foundation is ready for any type of development in the future. So just expect those changes to occur, and also expect some of those changes to occur up at the marina. Not so much, but we're going to try to do that in stages where it doesn't affect a lot of our visitors and tourists that are going up there. But we'll ensure that the public is informed and has some signage in that area, so they'll know which way to go, which way they can't drive, and etc. So again, we're excited about those projects that are about to get started. I had an opportunity to meet with the county, United Way, and I want to pronounce it right, Phippany, and it's a feeding corp out of Dade County. And what they're attempting to do, and what they will be doing here in the Glades, is they're trying to fill the gaps for those kids that don't come into the summer enrichment program here in the city of Pahokee, because we feed them lunch, or they have to stay at home, or there's a teenager that has to watch a younger child at home, or they can't afford to come to the summer enrichment program. Those are the kids that are missing meals throughout the summer. And what this program wants to do is target some areas in the Glades, in the 3 cities specifically, to help fill the gap with the meals that can't be accessed by kids coming to our program. I think that's a great idea. So we'll be looking around the city and sort of targeting some communities that we know we don't get kids and young teens to come to our summer program, because those are the kids that may struggle to miss a meal. Statistics show that during the summer, more kids miss meals because they're not in school. And that's just a statistic that they're trying to attack, at a larger level. Pepsi Cola, that's on board as well to support, this program. So in the near future, as that program is started, we'll talk about it a little bit more and try to educate the community about where those food trucks will be. And they'll self-contained, meaning they'll come with their own staff. We don't have to do anything. They just have to know what specific route or specific location in the city that they should be going to. So they bring their own staff, they own a little program, and they feed the kids. And so again, we don't capture all of our kids in our summer enrichment program. I wish we did, but we don't. But we need to ensure that those kids have an opportunity for a meal throughout the summers. I don't have an update on the old hospital. I think Gary's working with a potential buyer on that particular entity. He's had some recent conversations with them about what the timeline is. We're ready to sell. They're ready to buy. They had an extended time frame where they wanted to do some renovations or constructions. I thought that timeline was just entirely too long, more like 2 years. And I'm saying, you can't sit there another 2 years if you buy it. You're going to have to do something a little sooner than that. So we want to go back and revise some of the language, mayor and commission, before the sale takes place. But they are ready to buy it, and so we're excited about that. We just want to ensure that they don't just purchase the property and they sit on it for another 2 years. And that's not something we want. So we want to ensure that they have an aggressive approach to either renovations, demolition, or whatever they're going to build there under the guidelines that we expect them to, that it's not drawn out for 2 more years. So once we get that language where we want it, we'll move forward with a sale of that property. But it should not be too much longer. Hopefully by the next commission meeting, we'll have an agreement for sale on the table for approval by the commission. That's it, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commission.
Thank you, City Manager. Could you just touch on the Marina Campground and Restaurant, since that's going to be an ongoing topic on our agenda? Just kind of give us an idea of where we are. Is the RFP ready to be public? I know the city attorney has some comments probably with that, but as far as where are we with that?
Okay. Of course, we sent a draft commercial bid up to the state. That was a big conversation about having the correct language for advertisement, and we want to make sure that we do have the correct language, and we thought we had to bring that draft back to the commission. We didn't have to do that. The city attorney drafted a commercial bid, and we were able to direct it to the state immediately, and they reviewed it, and as of this morning, we got word that the commercial bid is approved. They see no issues with the current language, and so hopefully here in the next 24, 48 hours, that'll go out for a commercial bid to the community.
Okay. And could you kind of update us on the Mel Tillis Boulevard? Where is that standing? Where we're progressing on moving forward? I think about a couple meetings ago, the commission approved changing the street to Mel Tillis. Where we at?
We had to go back and rethink that because we realized something that's not a city street. That's a state street. That's a state-owned road. And you just can't rename a state-owned road. But you can do something a little better than that. You can go back through this commission and do a resolution and make it a commemorative road where you can put the signs up and let people know that this name of this road has been named in commemoration of this particular individual, and that's what we plan to do. A lot of cities do that because they don't want to go through the red tape of trying to figure out how to rename a road. But this is a particular state road, so I think the best approach that we can take is to do a resolution and make it a commemorative appreciation for Mel Tillis, and put those signs up that you typically see on interstates, highways, or even local streets. And we're going to do that for Mel Tillis. And we'll order the signs and we'll post them at the beginning in Canal Point as you're coming into town, and we'll do it on the other end of Main Street as well. That is a secondary solution versus going to the state and seeing if they're willing to rename it, and also talking to all the businesses, the residents on East Main to engage their input as well. I think that's the quickest solution, but also a fair solution to commemorate Mel Tillis. Now, this commission is welcome to, continue pursuing that. I don't want to speak out of turn because the city attorney is not here as far as the legal ramifications about trying to engage the state on that. But I think that is the best and quickest solution to move forward.
Or look at another street.
Or you can actually look at another street that we own that is, fairly simple to rename.
So
I thought about the street that comes into the Prince Theater, that side street right there, because that comes into the Prince Theater. I think that's part of Nona. So, again, you can pick another street that we actually have control over by name and make a suggestion. I don't have a problem with that. Except
so that's
really the pleasure of the commission.
At our commission meeting, but Ms. Moss, you can make a comment.
I was under the understanding that the city had agreed to do East Main Street, but we also knew that we weren't going to want the maps changed or the Google changed or the GPS coordinates changed, that you could still remain East Main Street with the subtitle on the signs that says Mel Tillis Boulevard, Avenue Street, or whatever. Not just the state that says, like on the Turnpike, Tom Lewis Memorial Highway, or, something like that. Because there are people, the family members that are still here. East Main was particularly well associated with Mel Tillis. That's where all their family businesses were, with the bakery and the Prince Theater and everything else. But there will be people that want to have their address 2301 not East Main Street, but Mel Tillis Boulevard, and I think they should have the right to do that. They've done it in other cities that way, so I would hope that this city would adopt that philosophy and still let East Main Street be Mel Tillis, was it Boulevard or something, and so the people can use either or address if they would like. But a little side street is just really kind of...
Here's the problem with that. We haven't engaged those residents and businesses on East Main Street to know what that sentiment is. So I think it would be fair for those residents to have that opportunity to do that.
I agree. So can it be done through a letter or notifying them? And if they have any hesitation or whatever, they can notify City Hall?
We could do that. Like, again, it's at the
Now,
pleasure of the
we-
commission.
Right.
We wouldn't have to approach the state doing it that way?
I
Well,
don't
you're
have-
not asking them to change it on the map.
I'm
and I
just saying,
think
but we're putting a name on the state highway. I'm just asking.
You may, but if you're not asking, as I understood, because I did ask some questions around, I was explained to me that if you're not asking to change it on a map or on a GPS application and things like that, then it's not near as difficult to do a memorial name on a street.
Well,
with-
that's essentially what I was saying.
What you said made me think that you're just going to put a sign at the beginning of the road and a sign at the end of the road that says this is Mel Tillis Boulevard or whatever. I think it should be on the street signs that are coming.
But you're also discussing a little bit more than, you're discussing actually address change as well, correct?
Well, no, I mean, there will be people that, I know in Belglade, you can use Martin Luther King Boulevard or what's that road, Avenue E.
Well, once a street is a change, that alias stays with it. So you can use both.
Right, that's
But
what I
I
was.
don't know, and my question was, I don't know if we could add, although we're not technically changing it because it's a state's road.
Right.
I don't know if we can even put his name on there without at least getting clarification from the state.
And you probably do, but it was my understanding that that was going to be okay, that it was okay to do that if you were not asking the state to change the maps and all of that stuff. That was what I was told.
What we'll do is, we'll get a response from the state on what the next steps are. Again, that was I thought, a quick solution right now, but if we want to take it a step further and do that, we just have to go back to the state and ask them what the proper process is and move forward.
Okay. So hopefully we'll have some discussion on that to see what's the desire of the city commission as far as moving forward with that. We have a couple of recommendations that we can at least approach and move forward. Okay. I know you're not quite city attorney, but do you have any preliminary comments you'd like to make that you'll be discussing in the regular commission meeting?
No, sir.
Okay, thank you. Lieutenant Piccolo, same to you. You want to discuss any preliminary that you may talk about? I know we had a homicide in Pahokee, and I know it's ongoing investigation, but if there are any information, you know, you can share, maybe that would be something that could be helpful. I
Well,
know
we
have
did
an
make an
invest-
arrest over the weekend, so that case is, you know, closed. We're still looking at some parallel issues, so.
One, Mayor, Commission, one remaining item I overlooked was on the consent agenda, City Clerk CMC designation. I know you're going to speak on that later, but that's also, we decided long ago, once she got her certification, that her salary would change, and that's already on the consent agenda because we've already agreed to that. I just want to make sure I don't, you know, skip over that, but that is on the consent agenda this evening as well. Okay?
Okay. Right.
Finish. Will you finish?
I believe so.
Okay. Briefly, any comments from the city commission that you would like to kind of entertain before we move into our regular commission meeting? Got a few minutes. Commissioner Merriman.
You took everything I was gonna say, Mayor.
All right. Hope I can do that in the regular commission meeting. Vice Mayor Holmes. No. Commissioner Walker. No. Commissioner Hill.
No good.
Okay, I'm going to adjourn this workshop, and we will reconvene our regular commission meeting in 4 minutes at 6:30. Thank you. Yes, sir.
You want the city to finance it?
Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
City Clerk, are you ready?
Yes, sir.
City Manager, are you
Yes.
ready? Commissioner Hill,
Yes.
Commissioner Walker,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Holmes,
Yes.
Commissioner Mervin.
Yes.
I call this City Commission of the City of Pahokee Commission meeting of Tuesday, January the 23rd, 2018 at 6:32 to order. May we please stand for the invocation led by Vice Mayor Holmes, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance.
Most gracious Father, we thank you, Lord, for another day that you allowed us to just meet together and work out the problems of the city. We ask that you continue to bless our home, our city. We ask that you bless us to move forward, that one day we would look back and knowing that it was a rough struggle and it was a rough road to travel, we can look back and say we made it. And we ask that you continue to bless us and keep us safe from all hurt, harm, and danger. We ask that you bless the bereaved family. Father, we ask that you bless us, that we can quiet down some of the violence that has been happening in our city. And we ask that you just comfort us through all hurt, harm, and danger. In Jesus' name we pray, amen.
Amen. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Mayor Bab,
Present.
Vice Mayor Holmes,
Present.
Commissioner Hill, Commissioner Mervin,
Present.
Commissioner Walker, City Manager,
Present.
City Attorney,
Here.
Lieutenant Piccolo,
Here.
City Clerk, present.
Thank you, City Clerk. Thank you, Commissioners. Thank you, staff. And thank each of you for being here to take part in our regular commission meeting of January 23rd, 2018. Also, I'd like to thank Vice Mayor Holmes for the invocation. We're going to move according to our agenda. Addition, deletion, and approval of the agenda items. Are there any additions, City Manager, City Clerk?
Yes, we have the regular scheduled commission meeting add-on. Those are the approval of minutes. November 28th, December 4th, 12th, and December 12th, and January 2nd. And of course, the add-on for 2018-02 resolution, demolition agreement. That's an add-on. 2018-03 resolution. That is a budget amendment. And resolution 2018-04. That is another budget amendment add-on. And of course, 2018-05. That is the techno marine agreement for renovations of the marina. All of those are add-ons, Mayor.
Okay, thank you, City Manager. Are there any additional add-ons? I'd like to consider moving the city clerk CMC destination and salary increase off the consent. I kind of want to do it in a combination where I'm gonna present her actual certificate,
Okay.
and we can discuss it. So normally we have discussed this before, but since we're gonna be presenting her with her actual certificate, I would like to openly make sure we do that in a presentation form. So I'm trying to see, do we want to do it on the presentation or do it up front? What's the pleasure, City Commission? Let's do that up front, dear. Yeah, I'm gonna do a presentation.
Are we gonna do that tonight?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay. Are there any other additions or deletions from the agenda?
Mayor, I think you was gonna add on discussion of the mail tellers, renaming.
Okay, let's put that under old business.
I would like to let it be known that I wasn't able to, no, I wasn't able to, well, I wasn't to the special meeting of the January 2nd. I wasn't able to the meaning, the system was allowed me to attend. Okay?
Okay.
I want that to be known. And that's why I wasn't there.
Okay. Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you.
Do I need to put on the agenda, I have a motion during the commission meeting that I need to make? Put that on the agenda?
Yeah, if we're gonna be, it would probably be appropriate to do that. What's the discussion, the motion, and trying to figure out where we're gonna, it'll go into new business, but,
New business is good.
okay, but what, so
I'll tell
everyone
you
is.
when I make it.
Okay.
I can make it now if you want.
Not the motion, but I just need to know what you're gonna be discussing.
A topic,
Yes, sir.
a topic that is in reference to the city manager.
Okay. So we'll put it on the new business, but
Okay.
you need to be a look, discuss city manager performance, discuss, you can be a little more specific or just discussion of city manager?
If I keep being more specific, I
Okay.
might as well tell you what we're gonna talk about.
Well, this is for the agenda and for the public too, so discussion of city manager.
Yeah.
That to be added on because it's something that's being a discussion item like that, that would need to be second
That's okay.
prior to that. We can do it.
Yeah,
We just want to make sure we
understand.
do
It's supposed to be second.
it. Okay. So before we actually get into that discussion, we'll get a motion and a second if that's going to be the pleasure of the city commission. Okay. Hearing no other addition, I would entertain a motion to adopt the agenda with the add-ons and additions.
I'd like to make a motion to adopt the agenda with the add-ons to the agenda.
Thank you. It has been moved by Commissioner Hill and properly seconded by Commissioner Mervin that we accept the agenda with the add-on that was noted. Call for questions. Hearing none, are you ready for vote? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Hill,
Yes.
Commissioner Mervin,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Holmes,
Yes.
Commissioner Walker, Mayor Bab.
Yes. Thank you, Madam Clerk. Thank you, Commissioners. Now we're going to move on to the presentation for our city clerk and the discussion of the city clerk CMC certified municipal clerk designation and salary increase. I will present and I'll have the commissions come down with me, but I just want to give some preliminary and some basic information. Our city clerk is now designated as a certified municipal clerk. Well done. Congratulations to our clerk. This is a designation that normally takes approximately 3 years. She did it in 2. And she now will begin to work on her master's certification as a municipal clerk. In addition to that, Ms. Warner just received her bachelor degree in public administration. In addition to that, she will be now working toward her master's degree in public administration. When Ms. Warner was hired 2 years ago, she started at a salary of $37,000. The commission at that time had indicated that they would increase her salary, or the commission would increase her salary up to the $45,000 that the current clerk at that time was making. I believe that clerk was a certified clerk, so to give Mrs. Warner some incentive, that was offered, and she pursued that and attained that admirably. In addition to that, she has been seeking scholarships to help offset the cost. It costs to go to all of these classes and travel and spend some time away from the office, but she has been actively seeking reimbursement, so a lot of that expenditure the city has been reimbursed for, and we want to thank her for that effort also. And we'll discuss and entertain a motion as far as her just officially giving authorization for the city manager to increase her salary up to the $45,000. Currently, she makes approximately $37,000. So I'm gonna come down and I'm gonna ask the city commission to come down also. We have Ms. Warner come down and give her public recognition for this outstanding award.
Thank you for allowing me to be a part of it.
Thank you. Ms. Warner, as the mayor of the city of Pahokee, and on behalf of the Pahokee City Commission, Vice Mayor Nathaniel Holmes, Commissioner Diane Walker, Commissioner Clara Mervin, and Commissioner Felicia Hill, along with our city staff under the direction and leadership of our city manager, Chandler Williamson, and our entire city staff. We would like to congratulate you for being certified as a municipal clerk. We thank you for your hard work and your dedication. We know this task wasn't an easy task to work all day and also have to go to school and attain the knowledge that you learned it. We know that this certification will assist you in doing a better job and providing better services for our city staff and our city residents. And we encourage you to continue pursuing your education as it relates to your clerk duties. Again, it's such an honor to be able to present this award, a certificate to you. And it's from the International Institute of Municipal Clerks, and it reads, hereby confirms the title of Certified Municipal Clerk upon Tawana Warner, CMC, who has completed the requirement prescribed by the International Institute of Municipal Clerks for certification, certified this 9th day of January 2018. Again, a job well done and congratulations. And as always, we would like to give you an opportunity to say a few words once we get a photo op of the award.
Thank you.
Thank you. Short and sweet. Where would you display the award? In your office at City Hall or have it decided at home?
I'll put it in City Hall.
For a little while. Again, congratulations, Ms. Warner.
I would like to say something. And I'm requesting your patience with my speech. I would like to recommend that we honor her, Ms. Warren, with her salary. I would like to her recommend her request about 60,000, because we got people running out this town, are getting 61 and 62 or 63 or 64,000, and that's not fair. That's not fair to her. That's not fair to her family, and that's not to her as an individual. Now, I'm requesting, whether you all agree with me tonight, I'm requesting that she receive 60,000 salary. Is that right? 60,000. Yeah.
Can I say?
Yeah.
What you saying that is we have people that makes that
Yeah,
more than she does.
More than she does.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's more than her. But she is. It's more than her. But she does. Okay. And she does. She does. She will require.
Do we have people making over that?
Yeah.
Not that I'm aware of. I don't think the directors barely make it.
Exactly.
The majority of them won't. I think they're at maybe around 50,000. But at this time, to be honest, and we can get into a little more in-depth discussion.
I'm questioning. You all can investigate or whatever, but I'm requesting you all to consider it.
Okay,
consider.
great.
I can move in that, because it was wrong on you. It was what do you call it? Expectantly, you are wasn't respecting this.
We can understand that. Commissioner Walker just asking for future consideration that we increase her salary. Tonight, though, I'm not saying that won't happen tonight, but I'm saying what's before us will be an increase up to the 45,000, which will be a $8,000 raise from her current salary as it stands now.
Right, okay, but I can understand that, but I'm just questioning.
Right.
Whether you all agree with me or not, but that's my request.
Right, gotcha. Okay.
And I thought this would be the appropriate time to discuss it.
Okay, so let's take care, unless some kind of way this may end up being amended, let's approve the salary increase where it was indicated previously that her salary, once she received the certification, will be brought up to the $45,000 salary, which will be currently from where she's at now, an $8,000 annual increase in her salary. Unless that's gonna be amended some kind of way with a second, but let's move forward on that motion if that's the desire of the city commission.
Mayor, I motion to move to the city clerk, salary increase to the 45,000.
A second.
Okay, been moved by Commissioner Mervin and properly seconded by Commissioner Hill for the clerk salary increase that was previously authorized up to the $45,000. Call for questions.
Yeah, I got a question. Even though it was previously authorized, if it's not fair and it's not up to par, we have the power to change that. From what I'm understanding, we have people in this administration making 60-some thousand, and that's sad for our city clerk that is certified, working on her masters to be getting 45, and we have people getting 60-some $1,000. So we need to really get that together.
Hey,
Yeah.
let us receive or request the salary.
List the salaries of all your directors?
Yes, right. Thank you.
Yeah, that would be fine. City attorney, I'm gonna say city manager can get that to us so we can kind of look at that. I'm gonna give you an example. I don't want to put anybody on the spot. You have AJ, who's been with the city almost 30 years. He's a director, and I don't think he's at 60,000. I believe we have one person that I'm aware of, and I believe that's our finance director. Close or right at 60,000. I don't think we have any other currently one. And we have to keep in consideration too, we can prepare for this during a budget time, but it's not, it haven't been budgeted. I'm not saying it can't be done. I'm not trying to discourage anyone who would like for it to be done. And it can be brought up at another point too. Once we get the information, you can kind of compare salaries. And along with that, city manager, maybe you can even put the years of employment. That makes a big difference too. A lot of times when someone, for instance, have been here for 20 years and we replace that person, I think the impression is we automatically should bring the person who's coming in on board, maybe with less no experience, the same amount, and that don't normally occur. But because it was previous budgeted, you know, sometimes staff look at doing that, a commission look at doing that. But I understand the point where Commissioner Walker's coming from, and certainly we want to get that information to the commission at our next commission meeting, and we can consider that. Look at the salaries, see if it's in line with other staff, and let's talk about it.
I also have a question. I mean, if we're requesting that he do that, can we see their qualifications as well? Because I'm sure that plays a it should play a part in it
Okay,
as well.
so we can
We can
add
see what
that
they have,
if
the
those
years,
staff got
the-
any
yeah, the years, the
certification
degrees, the
of special
certification, yeah,
qualification,
yeah. I
along
think that-
with their tenure
Yes.
with the city, so to
That
help us
plays a
make a
lot in it as
better
well, yeah.
informed decision. No
I
problem.
think I think that what she has done is she had what she has done is very commendable of her and our commission. So I want us to be very I want us to be aware of that too. Okay, cause that's commendable of her. I can't work the right out, but that's commendable. So
Okay.
we you know, that's what that's how and you all have heard you and what you all have you said was very, you know, your anyway, I agree with what you all have said always.
Okay, thank
as
you.
well, I'm sorry.
Thank you, Commissioner Walker. All
And
right,
thank you all for I don't know.
are there any additional questions? Hearing none, we have a motion and a second on the floor for the increase of $45,000 for the city clerk. Are you ready for vote?
I want
Question.
a question for you. I forgot. Go ahead.
All right, moving along. If you come back to it, we'll
Okay,
take it up.
Thank you.
Ready for vote? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Mervin,
Yes.
Commissioner Hill,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Holmes,
Yes.
Commissioner
With
Walker.
the understanding that if we decide that her salary is not compatible, we'll revisit this again.
Can we visit again?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Commissioner Walker,
Yes, with the I know we understand that we can refuse. We
Revisit.
get it right.
Okay.
Mayor Bab,
Yes. Thank you, City Clerk. Thank you, Commissioners. Motion passed by unanimous decision to increase our City Clerk, our salary up to $45,000 due to her recent certification. Again, job well done, Ms. Warner. Moving into our next agenda item would be citizen comments. Must be agenda items only. City Clerk, do we have any comments card?
no, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Public service announcement. Also must fill out a public service comment card. Madam Clerk, are there any public service announcement cards?
No, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Now we have the approval of the minutes. We're going to take these individually. The first approval will be the November 28, 2017 regular scheduled commission meeting. I'll entertain a motion. You know what? I'm gonna make this. I'm gonna move it a little faster than this. We'll do all four of them. The November 28th meeting, the December 4th meeting, the December 12th meeting, and the January 2nd meeting. I entertain a motion for all.
But understand that I was not there because the schedule. The equipment wasn't available to me.
Right. Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you.
I motion to approve the minutes for November 28th, December 4th, December 12th, and January the 2nd.
It had been moved by Commissioner Mervin and properly second by Vice Mayor Holmes for the approval of the minutes of November 28th, December 4th, December 12th regular commission meeting, and the January 2nd, 2018 special scheduled commission meeting. Call for questions. Hearing none, are you ready for vote? Roll call.
Wait a minute. My schedule. I wanted to specify that I wasn't that meeting because equipment wasn't available to me.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Mervin,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Holmes,
Yes.
Commissioner Hill,
Yes.
Commissioner Walker,
Yes.
Commissioner Babb.
Yes. Thank you, Madam Clerk. Thank you, Commissioners. The minutes of those 4 meetings was passed unanimously, 5-0 vote. Consent agenda item, we did remove the city clerk designation and salary increase off the consent. Therefore, we don't have any consent agenda items. Next is ordinance. We don't have any ordinance. We'll move to our resolution 2018-01, city attorney.
Mr. Mayor, this is a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Pahokee, Florida, authorizing and directing the city manager to request and accept advance funding for the City of Pahokee Commissioners Park Improvements projects from the State of Florida Department of Environmental Protection, Land and Recreation Grants section.
Thank you, city attorney. Haven't had resolution 2018-01 properly read into the minutes by our city attorney. What's your pleasure, city commission?
I move that we adopt the resolution 2018-01.
I'll second.
It's been moved by Vice Mayor Holmes and second by Commissioner Mervin for the adoption of resolution 2018-01. Call for questions. Hearing none, are you ready for vote? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Vice Mayor Holmes,
Yes.
Commissioner Mervin,
Yes.
Commissioner Hill,
Yes.
Commissioner Walker,
Yes.
Mayor Babb.
Yes. Thank you, City Clerk. Thank you, city commissioners. Resolution 2018-01 passed unanimously.
I'd like a question, make a comment. First of all, I want to, why I was thinking, that's why I had, why are we continue to get these a message for comments, the resolution? We don't have the time to review them. Review them. It's RERE. Review them. When they're on the agenda. So why when I review them or comment when I haven't had enough to review them?
Okay, we're going to request staff as much as possible when add-ons are presented at the last moment, commissioners saying they don't have proper time to review them. So if we can begin to get them as much as possible in advance, so staff and commissioners can take a review of them, and we'll work towards that end as much as we can.
I can't stop. I mean, look. I'm not like I tell my grandchildren. I'm not naive. I'm not what you call it? Senile. I know this money is going in. I know, but this I just need to know what's going on. But I'm not going to refuse this money. If there's money involved.
Thank you, Commissioner Walker. Staff would take a heed of that and try to do a better job in that area.
Please do.
We're going to move to Resolution 2018-2. City Attorney, could you read this into the minute?
Mr. Mayor, this is a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Pahokee, Florida, authorizing and directing the mayor to execute the water treatment plant demolition agreement by and between the City of Pahokee and Devland Demolition and Site, Inc.
Thank you, City Attorney. Having properly had Resolution 2018-02 read into the minutes, what's your pleasure, City Commissioner?
I make a motion that we adopt Resolution 2018-02.
Second.
Been moved by Vice Mayor Home and properly second by Commissioner Hill that we adopt Resolution 2018-02. Call for questions. Hearing none, are you ready for vote? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Vice Mayor Holmes?
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Hill?
Yes.
Commissioner Mervin?
Yes.
Commissioner Walker?
Yes.
Mayor Bab?
Yes. Thank you, City Clerk. Thank you, City Commissioners. Resolution 2018-02 passed unanimously. Now is Resolution 2018-03. City Attorney.
Mr. Mayor, this is a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Pahokee approving budget amendment number 1 in the amount of $449,400 to the 2017-2018 fiscal year budget.
Thank you, City Attorney. Having had Resolution 2018-03 properly read into the minutes, what's your pleasure, City Commission?
I move we adopt Resolution 2018-03.
Been moved by Commissioner Vice Mayor Holmes for the adoption of Resolution 2018-03, properly second by Commissioner Mervin. Call for questions. Hearing none, are you ready for vote? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Vice Mayor Holmes?
Yes.
Commissioner Mervin?
Yes.
Commissioner Hill?
Yes.
Commissioner Walker?
Yes.
Mayor Bab?
Yes. Thank you, City Clerk. Thank you, Commissioners. Resolution 2018-03 passes unanimously. Now we'll move to Resolution 2018-04. City Attorney.
This is a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Pahokee approving a budget amendment number 2 in the amount of $1,145,181.92 to the 2017-2018 fiscal year budget.
Thank you, City Attorney. Commissioners, having had Resolution 2018-03 properly read into the minutes, what's your pleasure?
I think this 04.
04, I'm sorry.
I make a motion that we adopt Resolution 2018-04 into the minutes.
I'll second with the correction, instead of 92 cents, it's 94 cents.
Well, taken.
Caught me with my hand in the cookie jar.
It has been moved by Vice Mayor Holmes and properly seconded by Commissioner Mervin for the adoption of Resolution 2018-04. Call for questions. Hearing none. Are you ready for vote? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Vice Mayor Holmes?
Yes.
Commissioner Mervin?
Yes.
Commissioner Hill?
Yes.
Commissioner Walker?
Yes.
Mayor Bab?
Yes. Thank you, City Clerk. Thank you, City Commissioners. Resolution 2018-04 passes unanimously. We'll move on to Resolution 2018-05. City Attorney.
Mr. Mayor, this is a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Pahokee authorizing and directing the mayor to execute the agreement for design-build services between Techno Marine Construction, Inc. and the City of Pahokee.
Thank you, City Attorney. Having had Resolution 2018-05 properly read into the minutes, what's your pleasure, City Commission?
I move that we adopt Resolution 2018-05.
Second.
Been moved by Vice Mayor Holmes and properly seconded by Commissioner Mervin for the adoption of Resolution 2018-05. Call for questions. Hearing none. Are you ready for vote? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Vice Mayor Holmes?
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Mervin?
Yes.
Commissioner Hill?
Yes.
Commissioner Walker?
Yes.
Mayor Bab?
Yes. Thank you, City Clerk. Thank you, City Commissioners. Resolution 2018-05 passes unanimously. We don't have any public hearings. We don't have any proclamations. We have done one presentation to our City Clerk, and again, congratulations to her. Now we're at the Mayor's report. We'll be brief. I just want to thank staff for the outstanding job hosting the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Parade and Extravaganza. It's a great event, one of our largest and most successful MLK celebration to date. We also like to thank our speaker during the morning, Reverend Bennett Everett. Thank everyone for coming out. It was a great event, a large parade. I think the kids had a great time. The adults had a great time. It was held on a Saturday this time where it didn't conflict with our children going to the fair, which they did every Monday during this celebration. So they was there. The event was about a 5-hour event. We had lots of vendors, food, bounce houses for the kids. It was just a great event. We want to give special recognition to Ms. Adams for kind of spearheading it from the staff side of it. So again, outstanding job, staff. Also, I just want to mention, we talked about this earlier. I think it would be beneficial to this commission at the beginning of each calendar year to have a workshop, mini retreat, just to set goals for our next, for the upcoming year. City manager indicated one of his goals is to increase affordable housing in the city of Pahokee, and that's certainly a top 3 need in Pahokee, along with business development and jobs creation. So I just want to be able to sit with the city manager and the commissioners to set a few goals that we know where we're headed at in the upcoming year. In addition to that, I think every year we need to review our personnel policies, some things that could be changed to just have a better working relationship, at least get some understanding. Even myself as mayor, myself and the city manager or other staff don't always agree on things. I think doing a workshop, things that we may have some differences in, we can air that out. It may be just a communication or interpretation concern that we can air out. And at some point, I certainly would like the city attorney to be in there, because one of the things I don't want to do by any means is to tie the city manager hands or do something that goes above our responsibility as far as maybe interfering in the day-to-day operation. He can kind of clarify that for us, and if we got a concern, we can word a policy in a way which it doesn't interfere with the city manager. That's something I want us to seriously think about. I really would like to do it now, but it may be better after the election if there's any new commissions on board. Not necessarily we have to wait. It may be something you want to consider, but at some point, I think we need to do that. One Saturday or one day out of the week, that we can look at those items. Also, the old Pahokee High School, we have ordinance on the book now that we're requiring our citizens, our business owners to take care of their property, to paint it up, to board it up. And the old administration building, I know we done talked about it, but we need a timeline on that and make sure that we're not asking a business owner to do something that we're not able to do. And we're supported by tax dollars, so we really got to be on top of that. So I would like to just encourage the city manager to kind of give us maybe a time frame on when that old building can at least be painted or at least boarded up to look a little more better and eliminate the eyesoreness of that area. And I'm asking you to just address it. I know it's like all of a sudden, but do you have a time frame we can get it done, or you can let us know by our next commission meeting? And that's it concerning the mayor's report. Now we're moving to our city manager report.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor.
I think Commissioner Walker really wanted to ask a question real quickly.
No, I asked a question. Are you applying my questions of today or comments today was inappropriate to?
No, I think part of your comments to give us a little time, at least to think on that, and we're gonna have the staff break.
I know. I
No.
said, what I said tonight was inappropriate.
No, it wasn't inappropriate. It was appropriate.
Okay.
It was well taken.
Okay, thank you. So that's what I know what I let myself.
Right. Okay.
That's a question like.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
All right, thank you for indicating me.
Okay. Thank you, Commissioner Walker. City Manager Williamson.
Good evening, City of Pahokee. Thank you for coming out tonight. Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commission. This is our first commission meeting for 2018, so it's good to see all of you back. Following up from my workshop, some of the announcements that I made, I left out Pahokee High School. Pahokee High School should be commended. The principal, the parents, and specifically the students, because we have had the largest graduation gains here in Palm Beach County, here in Pahokee. And so we need to take an opportunity to recognize that we have a great educational system here in Palm Beach County, and more subsequently, we have great staff over at Pahokee High School, Pahokee Middle High School, and we have some very supportive parents here in this community that understand the importance of education. So we need to recognize that. If you don't know, Pahokee High School, again, had the largest gains in their graduation rates, and we need to keep that in mind when we think about the city of Pahokee, this community, and all of the negative things that seem somehow creep up around here for some strange reason. We forget about the great things here in the city of Pahokee, and it starts with our students at Pahokee High School. And so, excuse me?
Just wanted to highlight that it was a double-digit gain.
Correct.
To 90% graduation rate.
92% actually. Yeah. The average overall Palm Beach County graduation rates are superseded the state's graduation rate, which I think is about 82.3. We're at 86 or 85% for a county, and so that speaks well for this county as a whole, because we can kind of hang our hat on that as a county here in Florida that has a great educational system, and that eventually trickles down to small cities like Pahokee, because folks will pay attention to that and see where they best fit in for investment, relocation, raising a family. We need to just keep that in mind, that with that statistic, with that piece of news, we can actually promote ourselves that we have a great educational system here in Pahokee, despite some of the stuff that they try to highlight as being negative here in the city of Pahokee. So I want to commend the principal over there, the parents here in the community, and especially our graduates in 2017 and upcoming, because they work very hard to ensure that they graduate on time and at a higher rate than other high schools. So that's I wanted to announce that, make sure we don't overlook that here on tonight. Pahokee High School renovations, as you know, that's part of one of the surtax projects. And one thing about the Pahokee High School, it takes a lot of dollars to bring that building back, but we did fit it on our surtax projects, and so it's one of the larger surtax projects that we have. However, we do want to paint, replace the windows, and do some landscaping on the outside so it can look appealing. And so as those tax dollars are coming in, what I'm doing is I'm moving some money aside for that specific project. And I don't have a time frame. I do have a cost, but I don't have a time frame. That we haven't collected enough surtax dollars for this particular project. But for the painting and the windows, we can move forward with that. Actually, it's good that you brought that up, because yesterday I was not working, but communicating with a particular contractor who's going to be doing another project here in Pahokee, and I requested that he give me some recommendation on some vendors that can respond to that project. And so I actually got some feedback actually late yesterday on that. So it's good that you brought that up, because it is on my agenda for the first 6 months of this year to bring that Pahokee High School back to life in some regards. What we don't have funds for probably will not be addressed in the surtax dollars. It's the internal renovations on the inside. You're talking a couple of $1 million for that. But again, we need to do some things on the external to make it look more appealing, to make it look inviting, and to increase the visibility of that particular structure. And we're going to do that within the first 6 months here of 2018.
I have a question in reference to that building.
Pahokee High School?
The old building.
Yes.
Whatever happened to those, to the historical, I think some years ago, we were talking about the historical
It's
farm.
designated as a natural historic site.
Right.
And one additional thing we're trying to do is locate some federal funds that would assist us in that. They're very meager in these tax days coming out of Washington, D.C., and so we haven't had a lot of success with that. But because it is a national historic site, we're going to continue, pushing at the federal level and even at the state level too, because they have a society at the state level that provides some of those dollars. And so we are researching that moving forward. We just haven't been successful with securing any federal or state dollars.
City Manager, could you maybe share? I think staff went to a workshop dealing with historic grant application and process, and even the person who was kind of head of that, I'm not going to say organization, but she was a top person in there, was familiar with Pahokee, and also mentioned the fact that they had given Pahokee money in the past to move forward in the renovation. That's been several years ago when they did the design, but maybe you can share that.
Yeah. The money that if I can recall, and this is off the cuff, the money that was appropriated or awarded back then was for design, research, scope, doing an investigation of the structure themselves. So that money was expended properly. However, because we now have a grant researcher on staff now, she had an opportunity to go attend a workshop specifically talking about these sorts of grants opportunities. And so it was, one, good to have someone to go and participate in that workshop. Two, to get the information about these types of historical structures and the availability of funds. And so we now have someone that can specifically pay attention to that moving forward as far as that structure is concerned. And it was a good workshop. I wasn't there, but she brought some good information back. And so we're going to apply some of those best practices to securing funds for that particular structure. Any additional questions? Like I said, I ran through the city manager report in the workshop. I think with the resolutions that we had tonight, you're going to see some construction start fairly quickly here on some of the things that we've been talking about. And as Commissioner Walker said, we got the money for. We need to get them started. And so I'm a little excited, just a little bit, because it's at that point now where I can say, we can point to something in Pahokee that is getting done and it's moving quickly, more quicker than we thought it should be or thought it wouldn't. But again, we have a unique opportunity with funds that we secured last year, and going back to Tallahassee this year, we have a big ask again that is centered around a couple of facilities that we have need improvement, and also some additional money that goes back to the marina as well. So it's imperative that we remember that the conversation in Tallahassee is it changes every day. They have 60 days there, and anything can happen on any given day there when it comes to appropriations. You can find your appropriation ripped out of the budget if you don't pay attention. And so it takes having representation there on a 24-hour basis almost when the budget begins to have that pick up speed in conversation to ensure that your ask is represented fully. I'll be making another trip back to Tallahassee, of course, because I have to go back and talk about what we first put on the table and to secure that, secure the funding for 2018. It's not a guarantee. We had a great year in 2017 for state funding. And I think for 2018, I really need to think about the funding that's coming from the federal government, because I truly believe we have a great relationship in Tallahassee, and it's taken a while to build that relationship. It's not easy. It's a lot of politics that goes into trying to secure funding. We're not the only city in Florida that needs infrastructure improvement, but we're one of the worst when it comes to improvement in our infrastructure. And so we're also in an area that they used to be called a economically challenged area. Sometimes you can utilize that for your benefit, and sometimes it can be a negative. But we've been successful in taking that message to Tallahassee, and so we're excited about 2018. We've done a lot here that is not seen on the surface. You have to really go up under the surface and see what the changes are, because that's the foundation. And so as we enter into 2018, I just want to say, we need the support of this team here on this dais to move forward, and we need to look positively at the future, not negatively. And if there are things that we need to correct or revise to ensure that we move forward in a collective manner as a group, because we can't splinter and run 6 different ways. It's not going to work. But I think so far in 2018, I think we have the right energy from the administrative viewpoint that we're moving forward. And the directors know that we have a higher expectation this year, because we can't just sit down and be happy with what we have. And so we're going to work very hard for the city this year. We're going to work increasingly towards that mission of building a city and community of choice, and really securing that Progress Pahokee theme that you see around town on those projects. Again, thank this commission for their support, and we look forward to getting started here in 2018. There's some things that kind of put us behind with the marina, but I think you'll be satisfied with where we are tonight and where we're going to go in the future. And so, again, we're asking for your support to ensure that we move this city forward. That's it, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioner.
Thank you. In addition to comments or questions to the city manager, hearing none, we will move into our city attorney report. I don't want to take away any thunder, but I think we got some good news as it reference to the Cap Drive Marina and restaurant. City attorney.
Mayor, passed out and as part of the old business here tonight is the Marina Campground and Restaurant issue. We prepared the RFP, not RFP, competitive bid as requested by the commission, sent it to Tallahassee. We received word yesterday that that was approved. So the next step will be to advertise that, and then you can make a decision on the highest bidder that comes back in. The full package was emailed out to the city. We had broken it up into 3 parts, but even breaking it up into 3 parts, it was too large for the city server. Only a portion of it made it through to your backup today. The rest of it, I believe, Mr. Williamson has handed to you.
Everybody got a copy or just me?
Just you.
Okay.
You were all meant to have a copy, but it didn't get through the city server. So the RFP is a competitive RFP, meaning it'll be awarded to the highest bidder. It basically follows the contract negotiation and contract you ended up with the last group that was in here. There's a proviso in the RFP that the minimum bid is the bid that was received by you by the last group that was in here. So people will be bidding that amount or higher in order to qualify as a qualified bidder. They also have to pay whatever amounts the state ends up requiring to be paid to them for both the upland and the submerged lands area of the marina. After you pick the successful bidder, what we will do is prepare a presentation to the state asking them to waive those fees, and hopefully the state and the governor and cabinet will waive the fees and make it less of a burden on the bidder. Not until we get their final approval will the contract actually be presented to you for signature. So I'm asking that you authorize the advertisement of the RFP tonight.
Yeah, I entertain a motion to that effect.
I have a question.
Let's do a
Okay, do
motion
the
in a
motion
second, and
first.
we'll ask
Okay.
questions.
What are we making a motion for? Oh, okay, I'd like to make a motion to authorize the city of Pahokee to put out the
Competitive bid.
competitive bid for the for the marina.
I second.
It had been moved by Commissioner Hill and properly seconded by Commissioner Mervin to authorize staff to put out the competitive bid for the campground, marina, and restaurant. Call for questions.
Yes, I have a question. How does this, or this may, we may have to discuss this in another meeting, how would this affect the Miller Group? The people that we already have, they're just gonna have to go through this process.
Yeah, they're gonna have to put in a proposal. They can put in identical, or they can increase it or whatever, but they would also have to bid if they are looking to secure the bid.
The other thing I need to mention to you is that when you initially signed that agreement with the Miller Group, you gave them a period of time to get the state approval. They've been unable to get that state approval, but that time period has not yet gone by. So we're going to be sending them a letter asking them to waive any rights that they have under that time frame, so that we can go ahead and put this out for bid.
Before the vote, I just want to let the commission know that we're going to double check the time frame. You know, I recommended 21 days out on the street and pull it back in, but Gary needs to double check if that's the appropriate time frame. So we'll know that tomorrow morning. Then we'll, next 24 hours after that, it should be advertised.
Question. So, say a bidder comes in, would they automatically know what the Miller Group already bid, or like it won't be fair to give?
It's public record. Yeah.
Doesn't matter, it's public record. Everyone already knows what they bid.
Okay, so do they have a chance? So that's their bid. So do they have a chance to?
They get a chance to
Would they
bid
be in the
again?
bidding process?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
A competitive bid is a bid. It's a closed bid. You don't tell somebody how much they have to bid on.
It's right now. Yeah, no comments at this point.
Well, if you don't let us comment before you vote, it's not any reason to comment.
This was part of the agenda, and you had an opportunity to
We
comment on it
did, and we
tonight.
addressed it, and they said, no, there would not be any.
All I'm saying, Ms. Moss, right now it's out of order to comment. The commission is deliberating. I'm just trying to make sure we follow in a procedural manner.
If it fits the mayor, if it fits the conversation, we're certainly not telling anyone how to bid. It's a competitive bid, and it goes to the highest bidder. But it is public knowledge what the first group had already offered the city, but no one is indicating what their bid should be from the city's viewpoint to anybody. So that's what we're saying.
Question. So the bid that they've already put out, that's the bid that we're gonna, they still gotta stay with that bid?
No, they don't have to
No.
stay with that bid.
Okay,
No.
they can start, okay.
They can,
Start all over.
they
Yeah,
can
'cause I was
bid,
gonna say that's not.
they can
that's-
bid whatever
that's
they
not
want,
right.
but,
Okay.
okay, there are two sides to this coin.
Okay, that's.
Everyone
that's the part
knows
I
what
wanna
they
hear.
bid. They
Right.
know what they bid. They were the only one that was interested.
Okay.
So if you put it out in a competitive bid, it's very likely that they're gonna come back in and bid less than they bid before,
Excuse me.
right?
But however, it can go the other way as well now. See, it can go the other way as well, which is not right. I mean, someone else can come in and they can, I mean, just being fair.
They can bid more too.
Yeah, they can. Yeah. I think it's kind of leaving, I know if I was the Miller Group, it's kind of leaving it out there. So if you have another person to come in and they just say if they want to bid, if they know their numbers, so basically they could just start over. They could just do this whole process. Anybody else? The
Yeah.
Miller Group.
Yeah, it's just a competitive bid for the Miller Group and whoever else is interested in the bid. That's state approved. That's why this language was approved this way. But it's already public knowledge that when we were working solely with the Miller Group, that there was a specific number they had already offered. We don't know what the competitive bids are going to be until we put it out for advertisement. We won't know that.
I apologize for stepping out.
Ma'am, yeah, you're out of order.
I apologize, but I'm begging the commission's permission, which you can grant me at this time, to ask one question.
Ma'am, once the commission start deliberating, it's not proper to entertain comments from the audience.
It's not a comment, I just have a question.
Same thing. We have a motion on the floor, been second, and we're in discussion.
And you have the power to grant me the ability to ask one.
That wouldn't change the motion. What we're doing now is all we're doing is considering whether or not we're going to move forward with the competitive bid. Whatever in there need changes, that won't change at this point.
Well, my question might change it. That's what I'm saying, and it might not be in your best interest to go with an RFP that goes to the highest bidder. And if the state of Florida allows an RFP that allows you as commission.
Okay, point well taken, but we're not going to do this. Once the commission is in deliberation, I'm not taking comments from the audience at this point. No other commission do that. Let's follow proper protocol. The commission is in deliberation. Are there any additional questions? Hearing none, are you ready for vote? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Hill,
Yes.
Commissioner Mervin,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Holmes.
I'm so confused, I don't know what to do.
It's just,
Vote
it's
yes,
just
no,
putting the bid out there.
whatever. This
I'm
is
going
so
to say,
ridiculous.
I need
I'm voting
Okay.
no.
Commissioner Walker,
no, because I'm confused.
Okay.
Mayor Bab,
Yes. Thank you, City Clerk. Thank you, Commissioners. The motion passed by a majority vote, 3-2. There's going to be an opportunity again for citizen comments. If we need to revise anything, maybe that's your time to say something, and this could be taken up again to say, let's add a revision in it. But right now, all we did was approve the going forth of putting out a competitive bid. That's what we've been asking for the last 2 months, and now it's on the table.
Can I say something?
Can I restate my vote?
You want to say something, Commissioner? The reason, the only thing I'm saying is that if this is coming from the state, this is the only way I'm looking at it and voting. If this is the language that's coming from the state, which is something that we wanted and requested, it's coming from the state. So honestly, this is what we wanted. So, but my thing is, my understanding is, I just don't want, and I don't know if it's too early to say this, I just want the Miller Group to have a fair chance at what is going on. That's all I want. And however, if this is coming from the state, Now, I don't think at this point we can go back and revise anything. No, we probably can, but at this point, if it's a competitive bid, that's where I think the little lingo is coming in, and the issue is coming in with me, because it kind of leave them out there and leave them out there in a little situation where, okay, if I know Miller Group's number, I can go in and do a dollar up or a dollar down, or however you want to do it. It's kind of leaving them out there. That's where I want to come in. I don't know how to say this. I'm gonna say what I'm feeling right now. I just want them to be secured, as far as, because that's not fair. That wouldn't be fair to come in and do it.
Commissioner
Hill, I'm going too far.
No, you're not going too far. I just need to remind the audience, we got a sensitive microphone system in here. It picks up every comment, and it will be on the internet or wherever. So I'm just asking you, and I know it's kind of difficult because we are talking about something that's concerning a lot of folks, but you got to be a reminder for that all your comments, and plus it's distracting up here too, at least for my end.
Okay.
Continue.
That's what I just want everyone out here to understand. My point is with the Miller Group, I just want them to have a fair chance, because when they came on board, everything seemed to be, we all know the whole story behind it, and it wouldn't be fair if this goes another way. However, if we gotta go in and follow the rules that the state is giving us, which is something that we wanted, and this is the language that they're giving us, we just gotta follow that. So at the end of the day, we gotta follow that piece. However, I don't want them to have not have a fair chance at this. If that's the right way, I mean, if that's saying it right, but if it's any other way that we can go back and we can try to do whatever we have to do to help the Miller Group, I'm just putting it out there. That's what I would rather do.
Well, this is a competitive bid. That means everybody gets an equal chance to bid on it. You can't have any favorites of the Miller Group of anybody else. The fact of the matter.
Let me clear that from what I've experienced from the beginning. That's why I say that. From what has gone on from the beginning, from the past experience, that's why I'm saying that. It's not me favoring anybody, nobody's favorite, but I know with the history and the way that this has happened with the Miller Group, from the time that they've been here, I just want everybody to have a fair chance at this RFP or at this marina.
It's not an RFP. Now, that's the key.
I meant the competitive bid.
We wanted an RFP.
Okay.
The state said no. You cannot do it on an RFP.
That's the part I want to clear.
You have to do a competitive bid.
Okay.
And that's what we've done, and we sent it to the state, and they've approved it.
So now how long, and there was 21 days, 22 days, I know you have things to the mayor, so you have to check that it has to go out, and then you will pull it.
It'll be advertised in the local papers for a period of time. I have to check the state statute and make sure we do it long enough.
Okay. I think it was like 21 days.
Can I receive my vote?
Oh, I'm sorry. Commissioner.
I think
She wants to change it.
Yeah, to be able to do that, she would have to be on the prevailing side.
No, a commissioner can change their vote on an item before the next item's called for vote.
So even if she voted against it, she could change, okay. So how would that motion be?
She can just indicate she wants her vote to be a yes.
Okay. You want to record that as a yes?
My vote is a yes.
Okay, City Clerk, you have that. Thank you. The motion now passes 4-1 by majority. Okay, we're moving to, that's it, City Attorney, for your report?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. We're moving to old business, and the discussion now would be the renaming of East Main Street, Mel Tillis Boulevard. We need to find what direction we're gonna be going into. It was indicated earlier during the workshop that it's a state-owned road, and we may have to get state approval. There was one option of putting signage up in memorial or memory of Mel Tillis with signage, and the other option was to look at a different road or street challenge.
Mayor, you forgot 246 East Main Street property.
Okay. That's is there, but it's Nate's. I put Mail Tillis. Well, what is that on the old business?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I didn't name Mail Tillis as far as 1, 2, and 3. So you're saying that should be the third item. Okay, we'll move to the East Main property.
I have a question in reference to that. If I can ask now?
Yes.
I'm disturbing.
You talking about
the Mail Tillis, in reference to the Mail Tillis.
Yeah, let's
okay,
move back.
Okay.
Yeah. City manager.
Yes, sir.
We're gonna discuss the this property being sold, being proposed to be sold.
I'm going to yield to the city attorney, but my conversation is we have a tenant at 246 East Main Street. We have a lease with that tenant currently right now. This particular tenant wants to review the option to purchase this particular property. I provided some information at the last commission meeting with the actual outline of the pictures. If we're not fully ready to have that discussion tonight, and we want to come back at the next commission meeting, you want to table it, we're welcome to do that and come back and have a conversation on it. But I will yield to the city attorney because I know he's had some conversations about this particular property as well. But that's the gist of 246 East Main Street. We have a tenant in there that wants to purchase the property owned by the city. It's an option that they would like to explore if the city is wanting to sell. It's at the pleasure of that commission, this commission. If you want to do that, if you want to table it till next commission meeting, because we've talked about a lot tonight, you want to table it to the next commission meeting, it's the pleasure of the commission after the city attorney provides his input on that.
City attorney.
Okay, Mr. Mayor, the city entered into a lease agreement with, let's see, which corporation is this?
Okeechobee Land.
Okeechobee Land Company, one of the Perez companies, to lease this building to them back in 22 July 2008. The very last sentence of the agreement says option to buy at any time during the lease. Tenant shall have it has first, but first is crossed out. And then it says option to purchase a property at the then existing market value based upon a certified appraisal same. The leasee has indicated they would like to purchase a property, and they would like to purchase a property taking into account the improvements they made to the property, which were substantial. The lease agreement itself does not say that if they choose to buy it, they get credit for the improvements. And it's my opinion that that last one sentence, option to buy, is probably not a valid option to buy. It doesn't meet all the requirements. So with all that said, it's a city property, and you can sell it if you want to. And you can sell it at the price you feel is appropriate to a bidder. You have a city ordinance that says when you're selling city property, it needs to go out for bid. So those are the things you need to consider in this matter.
The property appraiser, who would be responsible for obtaining that? The city, at least, so we'll have a gauge of what that property is actually worth.
I believe the city manager already has.
Yeah, we had an appraisal done on that property. That was a part of the packet as well. Again, that's if you want to sell this property. You don't have to, I mean, it's your decision. to want to sell this property to this particular buyer. And as city attorney has indicated, it has to go out for bid if you're going to sell it, but that's your option if you want to sell it or not.
Did the city sign an agreement with these people that they would have the option to buy this property at fair market value?
That's the lease that you're referencing.
The lease has a one-sentence clause in it that says, at any time during the lease, tenant shall have the option to purchase a property at the then existing market value based on certified appraisal of same.
So now we saying we can get out of that?
I'm saying I don't think that's a valid option agreement, and you can't get out of
Why would you make
that.
that agreement with anybody and then you renege on it?
I'm not saying you should or shouldn't. I'm just saying, giving you my legal
It's
opinion
just like
that,
if I were to come into an agreement with the city on some property, and I have the option to buy at fair market value, and now when I want to buy it, you tell me, you don't have to sell it to me.
well, here's the kicker. If you don't agree what the fair market value is, there is no agreement, there's no obligation to sell.
Okay, well, I can understand that. Then you go to the bidder. You know, whoever you go to appraise, to appraise the property.
And you get, you'll get 2 or 3 different appraisers, they'll all have a different opinion of value. That's the one issue. Then the other issue is he wants credit for the work that he did on the property. It doesn't say anywhere in the lease that he gets credit for that. It doesn't say under the option that he gets credit for that. So that's another decision the commission is going to have to deal with. I'm not telling you what to do one way or the other. I'm just telling you what my opinion is on that option and what your choices are.
Well, I'm saying that if the city goes into an agreement with someone, they need to try to adhere to that agreement.
Absolutely.
I mean, this is why our city don't prosper as it is. We're not prospering, man.
I don't think that's the case.
But it really wasn't an
I
agreement,
don't
it
think-
was an option.
Y'all let me finish.
I don't think that's the case.
Okay, I'm through.
It's not the case.
No, I'm just saying it wasn't an agreement, it's just an option, he has option to buy. So it was an agreement, it's not agreed that he is the one to purchase the property. It's just an option, he has an option to buy the property. That's all I'm saying.
And then we have,
Yeah.
that's if we want to,
Okay,
that's
that's if we want to
it.
sell the property. So my thing, what is the value of the property? Can you say what is the market value of the property?
We don't have that
Okay.
value here tonight. It was with that packet. I think I don't want to misquote myself, but I think it was probably around $240,000. That was the appraised price. But as the city attorney was saying, this particular tenant wants to get credit for the renovations that he's done to lower that cost of the price of the property.
And that's when you go into negotiation.
That's, again, if the commission wants to sell.
Why would you go into negotiation?
But if someone make the property looks better and spent their hard-earned money.
I think that's just how could you sit here and say that we go into negotiation when this is the part that gets me so upset, and it's just not right. And I'm gonna say just how I feel again. We're here to look out for the city, and I feel as though that's what we need to do across the board. And if that's the case, this goes on every time. Our goal is to try to get whatever we can get that's going to benefit the city of Pahokee. And if we're trying to do deals like that, that's not benefiting us at all. And we all know that. We know that.
We shouldn't go into a lease that says this. That's an option. That's where the incompetence is.
No, that's an option. It's an
option
option.
to buy.
It's an option.
Exactly.
It's an option.
Okay.
Let me just point out one other factor. The lease,
You don't know what option mean, apparently.
No. You
Let's-
don't understand the other things that are linked to the lease itself. And that's what's not fair, because this has to do, with certain people. See, this is where we go wrong. We need to look at the lease and look at what's gonna benefit the city of Pahokee. That's it. And if it's not gonna benefit the city of Pahokee, we need to work accordingly. See, we wanna bob and go other ways when it comes to certain people. No, we can't do that. So now I'm gonna be the one that's gonna get it for this, but I'm gonna say it because at the end of the day, they're gonna say it. They're gonna say it to me. So at the end of the day, this is for the city.
Let me limit.
What's gonna benefit the city?
Let me limit the discussion until we get we're more than likely to table it. It'll be here at our next commission meeting. What would happen then, we'll get the appraiser price and then decide, first of all, whether or not we want to sell it. And then if we did decide we're going to sell it, are we going to do any negotiation as far as the price? I mean, those are options we have to consider if we're going to be doing that. But let the city attorney get the final word. I don't think this just brought on us tonight, so we're not going to be able to sell it tonight. We don't even have all the information. City attorney.
The lease ends in July 20th, 2018. Of course, if the lease ends, then the leasee has no rights at all with respect to any of the value of the improvements or anything else.
In a nutshell, Emilio want to purchase the property he's currently leasing from the city. At one point, he owned it. He's now leasing it, and he want to ask the city would they sell it. So at our next meeting, we'll get some additional information from staff. We'll be able to make a decision. Someone have to motion and second it before we can discuss it, and then we'll move from there.
That's fair. There's nothing wrong with that.
Now we'll move back to the Mayor Tillis renaming of the street. City attorney, Chandler or the city attorney, it was some question about the state rights, and I just wanted one of y'all to share the option again. I think Chandler can do it. Just bring the option back to us again so we can discuss it. Somebody may, at that point, make a motion to move forward.
Okay, I think I'm gonna try to put on my legal hat here.
Looks good on you.
This is a state-owned road, and there are some challenges when there's a state-owned road and it's not owned by the city. You can't just naturally just rename it. I don't think you can. However, there's some options that were previously thrown out during the workshop that it doesn't have to be officially renamed, but you can have a ceremonial renaming of it and have those signs placed there along the street to recognize Mel Tillis without it being officially being changed. I think I'm saying that right, city attorney.
I would agree.
Okay, so that's where I was leading to as far as someone actually using Mel Tillis as their address on that street, then that's essentially you're renaming the street. And again, it's a state-owned road. But I do believe we can do a commemorative change of the name and post that, and that'll be satisfactory. So, am I saying that right, city attorney?
In addition to the signage, we can still put on the street itself Mel Tillis Boulevard. Are you saying that? I'm trying to clarify the concern that Ms. Moss had about.
Without getting a final, conversation from FDOT in the state, that's what I want to say. Yes, sir. Okay. So for me and for the city attorney, give us 24 hours so we can go back and see if we can actually make it a commemorative street and post those signs, and then we can come back and have this approved at the next commission meeting. Is that pleases the commission?
Okay,
please.
Could we make a motion on condition that it will be approved that we will proceed with the renaming of whatever we need to do?
Yes, sir.
To expedite
the
name.
Sure.
So everybody clear that what we're considering, and we would entertain a motion to that effect. We giving staff permission to proceed to get authorization from the state that we could actually, without renaming it, have its name there in addition to the signage. So we don't have to come back at a later date and approve it.
And be mindful,
Yeah, I'm
because
watching
I'm sorry to cut you off, Commissioner Marvin. Be mindful, because that is a state road. They control all the signs, speed signs, naming. That's why there's a big difference in our signage and their signage. They will be the ones that would actually come out and install this signage, not the city.
And if
So
that
that's an
option
additional
don't work,
conversation.
we'll look at another option at our next commission meeting, something would be a little more towards what we want to accomplish. But that would be the primary option at this point.
Okay, I motion that Mill Tillis signage, no, for the staff to go and contact the state to see can they put Mill Tillis' name on the actual street without actually renaming.
Thank you.
That's right.
I entertain a second.
Second.
It had been moved by Commissioner Mervin and properly seconded by Commissioner Hill that we give staff the authorization to seek authorization from the state and moving forward with the renaming without actually renaming it Mill Tillis. Call for question. Hearing none, call for vote. Are you ready for vote? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Mervin?
Yes.
Commissioner Hill?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Holmes?
Yes.
Commissioner Walker?
Yes.
Mayor Bab?
Yes. Thank you. Now we're moving to the Lieutenant Piccolo report, the PBSO.
Yes, good evening, Mayor. I just would like to provide a reminder a while back that the city had adopted the county nightclub ordinance. And in this ordinance, it pertains to the definitions of what is considered a nightclub. It also provides safety measures and stipulations for hiring law enforcement and certain security measures that the business has to go through. And if this business does not have a license to perform as a nightclub, then any sort of activities such as advertising, charging at the door, and even if you have a BYOB, then you're in violation of operating an unlicensed bottle club. So this is all available to the commission, to the mayor, everyone online if you would like to look up those ordinances and violations. Just want to remind the folks and business owners that those ordinances are in place for to ensure safety to the community, and that's why they've been adopted and put in place. So please review that if you're a business owner and you are having these sort of functions after hours. Thank you.
Thank you, Lieutenant. And I just want to pose this question. If anyone know, commissioners, staff, audience, how we can reach some of the young youth or young adults in this community to value life, whether it's a teen summit or whatever you want to call it. But we got to be thinking about that. I don't know if there's an answer, but I know there's something as far as the city, we need to be able to reach out and share some information with them. I know part of it is, opportunities for them and things like that, but I've been the mayor in March 2 years, and we done had 2 homicides in the 2 years that I've been mayor, and that may be a small amount compared to other cities and other places, but it's way too many for a small community where everyone know everyone. So I'm just challenging you, if you can think of anything, that let's brainstorm and come up with some idea that we will put out an effort to reach our young people to try to stop the senseless killing. Just try to reach out to them at some point. So that's just a challenge that the mayor just want to put on the table. Okay, we'll move into our citizen comments and general concerns. Do we have any comment card?
Yes,
City
sir.
Clerk. Thank you.
Mr. Santiago Boynton?
Mr. Santiago.
Forgot about my motion.
Oh, yeah. I'll get it. Sorry.
I've been here before, and I presented my case, which you all said was a good case. Continued having problems, and right now I'm being assessed, I think, $150 a day because the city would not give me the permit. They gave me the permit 5 days before they started assessing me $150. Last week it rained. I worked until 8, 9 at night in the rain to be able to do some of the work. I asked you that I didn't want to use asphalt or concrete as, you know, the thing the law requires. This will show you, I will pass it by, exactly what I meant. Picture over here, asphalt or concrete, and you will see it doesn't work. This that I am doing costs about 4 or 5 times more, but it enhances. Remember that this building here is the most historical building in Pahokee. It was City Hall in 1926. Over here, next to that, was the first hospital in Pahokee. This building back here with the Everglades Inn was built to assist with the hospital. So that is why I am putting so much emphasis in these buildings. These buildings are also right next to 441. And I don't know if I'm prejudiced, but they are one of the more outstanding landmarks in Pahokee. You see them right there. I don't know why it is that we need to be fighting each other for me to do work here. I will pass it there. This other picture will show you the enormity of it. All you see here is the top bricks, but underneath it, because it's muck, we had to build something like the foundation for a house. It's not a small project, and yet I was given 5 days to build it.
I think right now
some of the things I may...
the time have elapsed. I'm gonna give the city manager and see if he would just comment. From this commission, I mean, we can just ask the city manager to reconsider some decision when a business owner is really putting forth an effort to try to bring whatever into compliance. And
remember, I can't hear you.
Okay.
I'm deaf.
Mayor, I went by there today and I saw extensive work going on. And I didn't even know this was happening. I didn't even know it. I was just riding to visit Commissioner Walker, make sure her health was fine.
You got to talk really loud.
Yeah, I'm trying. But I saw extensive work being done. I don't know what the problem.
Excuse me? Sorry.
He saw a lot of work being done. You have done a lot of work in your business,
yes,
trying to comply.
What we have to do, we got to learn how to work with our residents and our people that come to do business in the city. You understand? That's what we got to do.
I agree 100%.
Listen, just today, engineers was talking to me and saying Pahokee was the worst city to get permits in Palm Beach County.
I cannot.
This has to change.
I've
has to
worked
change.
in Chicago. and I've worked in West Palm, and it's nothing like here. Over here, it takes. Okay, to give you an example, there was
We let it
the Florida Families, an organization that wanted to set a youth program at the hotel. Okay, that's one of the reasons I didn't finish the painting, because I left the other stuff and was preparing the hotel for them. We spent close to $100,000 because the hotel had been closed for 3 years. So we had to do everything. We put all impact windows. But it took me so long to get the permits that by the time I did get them, they had given the money, grant money out. And then your nephews, your nieces are the ones that are suffer, because I know some of them could have been in that program.
Okay, I'm gonna need to stop you there. City manager, you can ask him to come into the office and work with him. You can make a comment here. I'm gonna allow you to say a few words on that, and we can proceed on that. I'm not gonna put you on the spot if you can share it, because you have the background of what's going on there. I know we want to be firm and try to make sure we're treating everyone the same, but it's up to you as far as the option of what you want to do at this point.
Let me correct our earlier statement. This is not the worst city to do business in. That's bad to say. You should try to get permits from the county.
That's not funny.
They got me beat.
we
But we don't
engineers
have a
saying-
process. I'm speaking, Vice Mayor. Please give me that respect, because I gave it to you.
Thank you, sir.
We have a process for code enforcement. We pass ordinance here. And this is not directed at Mr. Santiago. This is directed about all of the businesses that we made decisions on. Special magistrate has given us directives on what business owners need to do to come into compliance. I'm not going to supersede or overtalk a sitting legal professional who's given directives under the law. And if Mr. Santiago wants to come in and have an additional discussion, because he's had plenty with us, he's welcome to do that tomorrow. But I'm not going to sit here and let someone browbeat our staff or browbeat this administration that we don't know what we're doing.
Sorry.
So, but I certainly will welcome this conversation tomorrow.
Whose phone it is? Thank you.
You don't hear
Oh,
it.
he's not gonna be able to hear it. Okay.
So, welcome to speak with him tomorrow. We've been paying close attention to his project.
I would like to present this, and it's more serious. On the 13th of December, I stood right there in front of the magistrate because he knows I'm deaf. He listened to my case. He asked code enforcement what was the problem with the permit. They said, code enforcement said, oh, there's only a few little amendments needed. They misguided the magistrate because 3 weeks later, they still hadn't given me the permit. But because thinking that they were just about to give me the permit, he gave me 30 days to finish the job.
Mr. Santiago, I gotta stop you. I gotta stop you. You can't stand before this commission and give out false
I
information.
went home. A week later, I got this letter stating that on my absence, that I was not present. Consequently, the magistrate had to judge me, condemn me, and fine me. Here is it. It's not signed. It is not signed by the magistrate. So I think that this was not the magistrate, but this was done at City Hall. You want copies? You can make copies of it.
We'll get a copy, but what I need you to do is get with the city manager tomorrow, a meeting, so he can explain what's going on. I'm just gonna.
I would enjoy that because, like I said before, a lot of the progress that we expect in Pahokee, those buildings are key.
Okay.
We have the women's club, a 30 by 40 hall, and that could be used for something. I would like to get with them to, see what cooperating can do. I have 6 buildings right there, and we can use it for,
Mr. Williamson, could you give him a time so I can give him a time? 9 o'clock or what?
Come see me?
Yes, sir.
Come in the morning, 8 a.m. I'll be there.
You can come first thing in the morning to talk with him.
what?
Come in the morning and meet with the city manager. 8 o'clock.
Good.
Thank you, sir.
I'll be there.
All right. I hope we can work this out. I really do.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you,
Oh, but
sir.
that doesn't, am I being assessed? Remember, you've
Yeah.
charged me.
Yeah.
He says yes.
Yeah, that's special magistrate order. I can't supersede that. You still
But
before this.
see,
You still before the
these
special
things
magistrate, and
are
because you didn't
illegal,
comply timely,
Because it was not the magistrate that did it. It
We can't
was
assess
you
you.
who instructed the magistrate to find me in the first time. That is illegal. The magistrate should be there to listen and make a judgment. But when I explained to the magistrate that within the past year I had spent over $100,000, he was going to say, okay. But then the city manager told him to find me the $200 and give me they gave me 30 days to pay and 60 days at that point for the parking lot. But it was not if it was the magistrate, it would be legal, but it wasn't. It was you that made the decision, and you're not being paid for that.
I wasn't even in the proceedings. We don't make those
we're
decisions.
we're gonna have a meeting in the morning.
It's not
Hopefully,
funny, man. This just man livelihood.
hopefully we can
You
work
laughing and giggling.
through it.
This just man livelihood.
Vice Mayor, you don't even know the story.
Let's call the other people that were here.
We're gonna have to end it at some point. In the morning, 8 o'clock, meet with him. And Chandler, I don't know if it's gonna help.
Maybe you
if-
need to meet with them too, Mayor. Maybe you need to meet with them also. Because ain't nothing gonna get done just him and Chandler. I can tell you that now.
Thank you.
Mr. Tongo, I'll meet with you in the morning.
Thank you.
Thank you. City Clerk, are there any additional comments, Carl?
Yes, sir. Mr. Benny Everett III. He withdrew his comment card.
Okay.
Okay, Miss Linda Moss.
Okay. Competitive bid. You cannot tell me that the state of Florida told you that you had to put an amount in the competitive bid. The state of Florida didn't know what the competitive bid amount was. They didn't have to put a competitive bid. How can it be competitive if you tell somebody how to bid? Nobody's got an answer? That's wonderful.
Amen.
I understand a competitive bid, but I've never, ever, ever in my life seen a competitive bid that told me what my bottom dollar was. I had to bid on it.
Well, you haven't seen very many bids then, because
Well, you're absolutely wrong. Sorry.
Because a lot of competitive bids have a minimum amount you bid, just like a reserve at an auction. It basically says the
A
city is
reserve at
saying,
an auction, yes.
the city is saying, if you don't bid this amount, we don't believe that you've bid enough to get the work.
In
to
the
get the
meeting that we
job.
had the other night, we specifically discussed having a dollar amount in there, and it was agreed that there would not be one in there.
No, that is not correct.
Go review the tape.
Oh, okay. You review them as well.
Excuse me?
Why don't you review them as well?
I was the one that said it.
Yeah, but no one agreed to it. Just because you say something doesn't mean everyone agrees to it, man.
Yeah, yeah, you can. But yes, there was not going to be a dollar amount in there.
Are you suggesting that this council made a motion to say that there would be no dollar minimum amount in there?
I couldn't tell you what the motion exactly said, but I could tell
Well,
you that
there wasn't one.
I can tell you that in the discussion, it was agreed that there was not going to be a bid list, a dollar amount put in it.
Well, that is not correct. And it would have been foolish to do that.
Really?
Yes, really. Okay, think back about this.
Okay, well, if you're going to do a competitive bid for a piece of property within the city of Pahokee, make sure, if you're going to sell a piece, make sure you put a dollar amount on there that you're going to have to sell it for too.
Very frequently, when properties go out for bid in the city of Pahokee, there's a minimum bid amount.
Minimum bid is different than...
You're not telling, it's a
to
competitive
oranges.
bid. It just says you have to bid over this amount or you're not going to be eligible.
Did the state require the dollar amount?
The state required a competitive
Okay,
bid.
did the state require a dollar amount?
No, it didn't.
So why did we put one in there?
Because it's so obvious. It's just so obvious. I hate to even say it. The Miller Group negotiated with the city the very lowest possible deal that anyone could possibly imagine the city would go for. Any lower deal than that, the city probably would not have gone for it. If they're the only one interested and the only one that bids again, they could bid half that amount and get the deal for less even than the minimum amount that the commission already decided was the minimum amount they would give it to them for. Now, does that make sense to you? Because
it makes sense to me that a competitive bid just means everybody gets to make a fair value of what they want to bid on a bid, and it's private.
Anybody that doesn't want to give away the city property for nothing.
Nobody gave away anything.
Okay. Are there any additional cards, City Clerk?
Yes, Ms. Catherine?
All right.
Thank you very much for my time. Thank you all commissioners for being here and working for the city of Pahokee. I'm a new resident of the city of Pahokee, and I'll use up some of my valuable time to say I think this is the most wonderful place I have lived in the last 50 years. Regardless of the stresses that are going on that I see and hear, I find the people to be extremely joyful and welcoming, and I think I was happy to hear you say, Commissioner, that you are here to work for the city of Pahokee, and I would like to add on that working for the city of Pahokee means working for its residents as well, and keeping their best interests at heart. Some of our residents, I know, we have hundreds of thousands of dollars to spend. We have $1,000 to spend, and that's a stretch. So I'm very interested in seeing how the commission is going to work together with the city on the housing, the business development, and boarding up those two windows at the high school, which can be done by maintenance tomorrow, by the way, in moving forward. And what I'm most interested in is I'd like to know, have you done any benchmarking? Do you have any project management plans for what you want the city of Pahokee to look like in the near future? Do you have colors chosen? Because it's curb appeal that brings people in. It absolutely is curb appeal. And the city center, every time I look at that, I look at Donia Roberts' property, and I was like, I see a gazebo and a park there. And I see beautiful 1930s pastels, keeping with the view of the Art Deco. I look at the PNC Bank, and I was like, that's a beautiful color, but I wish they would have required the PNC Bank, the builders, to put a little bit of augmentation on it in keeping with the flavor that you choose and that the citizens of Pahokee choose, so that any building that comes in new is done to the plans that the residents and the commissioners have chosen and have set forth to begin with. Have you benchmarked any other small town that's come back?
I'm not aware we have. I know downtown Belglade, though, it's called Avenue A. They have a storefront that's now is all a synchronized color and color scheme, and it looked beautiful. And I think we can kind of do something similar to that. But we had a charrette several years back that did some of the same thing you're talking about, where we selected colors and themes for the downtown redevelopment.
Landscaping.
But in addition to that, the city does have a vision with pictures and things that show what the city would look like in the future. And we have that
I'd love
colorful
to be able
picture.
to see that just for my own edification. Also, and I invite you to look at Portsmouth, New Hampshire. If you have any ideas, Portsmouth, New Hampshire is one of the great. Can I get an extra 3 minutes because I'm new to town?
We'll let you finish your thought, though.
Thank
really.
you.
Thank you.
Portsmouth, New Hampshire was the cesspool of New England. The housing was built in the 1700s. It was in dire straits. It is now one of the most vibrant tourist cities going. Let me tell you, nobody would move to Portsmouth come hell or high, double hockey sticks or high water. And that's a town that always inspires me because it has maintained its original flavor and it is so prosperous and so fantastic right now. The one last question that I have is for the attorney. The competitive bid that's going out, and I apologize for not knowing this information, but I'm familiar with RFPs in other countries where it's not necessarily the highest bidder is always the best for the city, and that creates a huge problem. So is there a current way in the state of Florida where the city of Pahokee can send out a bid that allows the city to kind of but look at those and not only choose the best value for the money, but the best fit for the city? Because I could bid the highest amount, but be totally wrong for you.
That's right. And most items that the city does is by way of an RFP, just like you suggested. You see, the city doesn't own this property. It's owned by the state of Florida. So we have to follow their rules. Their rules are set forth in the statutes and the Florida Administrative Code. We tried to do an RFP for it, and we sent it to the state. The state rejected it.
Okay, and I apologize for my earlier out of order, and I believe that was the problem that I had was that I had heard RFP and not competitive bid in my head. So I was like, no, can't. So anyway, that's all I have, and thank you, and I'll be participating more, and I'm really happy to be part of your lovely city.
And as a new resident, welcome. And thank you for the comments, too, and ended it on a great note.
And I did work with the gang squad in Canada, so I do have some information to share with something that we can do with the youth and everything, and not so much about valuing life, it's about valuing your self-esteem, which dominoes into valuing life. So, yeah, you start much younger, elementary school.
Thank you. Thank you so much. City Clerk, are there any additional comments, Card?
No, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. I apologize, I got out of order. Commissioner Vice Mayor Holm did want to bring up a motion in reference to the city manager. Again, it would have to be made and second before we discuss it. So, I'm gonna say, Vice Mayor Holmes.
Yes, thank you. My motion is let me give you a little background. First of all, there's nothing happening in our city that you can see. Everything, we hear this big It's exciting story every time about this and that. But if you go to neighboring cities, you see construction happening. You see this place building up. You come in Pahokee, week after week, month after month, the same thing. We done gave this city manager 3 years, and he has not showed us nothing but arrogance. That's all. The gymnasium right there. We don't have nothing for our kids. I mean, you can let them stay, but I'm going to tell you just like it is. What does our kids have? These are our kids. Anquan Boland was working with them, and he said he don't need Anquan no more. He'll get it from the state. He hadn't gotten it from the state. We got a gymnasium sitting over there empty, needs some work. Our kids are running around, getting in trouble, killing up each other. But we got a city manager. When he leave at 5 o'clock, he's going over to Wellington, Royal Palm Beach. He's not over here. It's sad. It's sad. You can't bring no businesses. We had Dunkin' Donut wanted to come here. He couldn't make that happen. He can't make the Marina happen. He's interfering with neutrality in our elections. He's interfering with that. This stuff has to stop. It has to stop. I make a motion today that we start looking for another city manager. Could I get a second? Well, we got a second. You said we needed a second. We got a second.
He had been motioned by Vice Mayor Holmes. And
What I want to.
we need to.
Wait a minute, Mayor. I want the city of Pahokee to see this, to understand who's allowing this city manager to continue to do the things that he's doing. Because the city, I mean, y'all have not been going out there. Apparently, the city is angry. They can't get in to see him. He don't return calls. Okay, let's make the city see it.
Vice Mayor Holmes and properly second by Commissioner Walker that we begin to look for a new city manager. Call for questions.
Mayor, I have a problem. That's not fair.
Well, I know you were gonna have one.
Yeah, it's not fair. That's not fair. Some of the information that Vice Mayor Holmes just said was very incorrect. And I think and it's not fair not taking up for Chandler, but I don't care if it was James or John. It's not fair. Chandler Williams has been in that seat going on 3 years. This city ain't got it like this 3 years ago. So I don't think it's fair. Right now he has to build from a city that was torn down, that was neglected for years. And it takes time to build the relationships, to rebuild the foundation, to build your city back up. Commissioner, you was here more than 3 years ago, and the information that you're giving out these people about he didn't want to stop Dunkin' Donuts, that's not true. If you go back to your city meetings, you will see the man stood right here.
I didn't say he stopped it. I say he can't make it happen.
The reason why that it did not happen, it wasn't on his dime that it didn't happen.
Yes, it was.
Okay, the Anquan Bowl, if he really was want to tell you the truth, actually what really happened with the gymnasium, you would be very, you wouldn't say what you're saying here tonight. That's not his fault about that, Albert.
I'm glad you. I'm glad.
Let's allow each commissioner to make their comments.
Just because you have a dislike or whatsoever, you have to be truthful. Be truthful in what you say. This city right now, no one else. Right now, when we went to Tallahassee 2 weeks ago, if you listen to the senators there, no one else that was in these commission seat before went up there and did in the 3 years what we got right now before. That's coming from your senator's mouth. Okay? So right now to be yes, does he have some issues? Sure. We all do. We all do. Everybody can point out some issues that we all have. But not to give this man not one thing, Commissioner Holmes, that went forth If you can check your record, now come on, be honest. You check your record. Not one thing that we put forward to improve this city did you vote for. You voted against it. Of everything that went forth to help improve the city, you voted against it.
That's not true.
So it takes.
That's not true, Mervyn.
Let me finish.
Stop lying, though.
It takes all 5 of us to come in here to work together. You cannot get behind something and say, well, because I don't like him, I'm gonna make this. I'm gonna ignore him.
I'm not gonna sit there and let you lie now.
It's not a 2 to 3 vote. It's a 5 vote. It's 5 of us up here. We need to come in here and work together honestly. Be truthful and stop going out giving false information to the community that because you don't like somebody, we
it's
need
not
to get
false.
it out.
It's true.
Okay.
Vice Mayor,
Yes.
let her wrap this up.
She need to wrap it up because she lying.
It's not fair, Commissioner Holmes, what you're saying here tonight. Now, if it was something that was truthful, we have to bring out the truth. But to sit here and say we're gonna fire the city manager because he ain't bringing nothing here, okay. It takes more than a day to bring a building here. It takes more to build this infrastructure that we have. We have here. We don't have not sitting on millions and millions and millions of dollars that we just go out and say, okay, do this and do that. We have to go to Tallahassee, get the monies to come. Who else you know went up there and got money to appropriation for this city? It's not fair, Commissioner Holmes, and you know it's not fair.
Okay, you're right.
Let's
Let's
allow any other commissioner to make comments if they want to. Call for additional questions.
We have what now?
If you need to say something, I don't think a whole lot really at this point need to be said. But if you need to,
I want Chandler and I want the city, the employees. I want you guys to continue to do the great work that you're doing. I want us to move forward with this marina. I want us to make sure we get some these people up here to work this marina so that we can move forward in this city. And the negativity, let's just try our best to stay away from it. That's all we can do right now. And I'm sure Bishop Holmes would be the one to pray for our city continuously, like we all do.
Every night.
Let's pray for it.
Every night.
Because we need it.
But when we know we don't have a good seed, we got to get rid of it.
Let's allow everyone an opportunity to talk. Vice Mayor, Commissioner Walker, any comments?
Well, I've heard a lot of comments from the citizens. Comment about you, about the vice mayor. I mean the
Chandler.
Chandler. And I'm seeing her. It's not that they cannot meet with him.
I'm telling you.
And
it's what's out there.
You know, they're concerned about
they won't listen,
the development. Hey, talk this to me. Put the camera off me.
Don't put the camera
on. Thank you. They're not the development of the community, which, you know, no job, no, you know, just
this is the community talking.
Allow the speaker, Vice Mayor.
You're right.
We need to wrap it up. Thank you.
Wait a minute, no, don't get me off started now.
When I say wrap it up, I don't want him to interfere with your train of thought.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Anyway, I just want to say, I have heard some comments about him, but you know, those are things that we all are concerned about, and some of them sugarcoat them things. That's not right either. You know, that's not right. Cause Commissioner Vice Mayor said the people are not seeing him. They're not seeing him. I don't see him all the time. I can't say, but it's being said to me. the job concern about the job development. I don't see they're telling me that. So, you know, if the community or the citizens anyway, they're when they complain, not the citizens not going on with the community, they are having my concern. They are having my concern. That's why I get invited on community and the citizens. That's what I compare on. And you know, have been out of sync a little bit, and I have gotten calls and comments about the things that they're not going on. So, you know, I got a right, you know, to concern about the citizens and the community.
That's who we serving.
So,
Not Chandler.
Anyway, that's a problem I'm going to say right now tonight.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner Walker. In addition to questions, I think I heard from all the commissioners being known. Additional questions, ready for vote.
Yep, ready.
Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Vice Mayor Holmes?
Yes or no? To get rid of them, yes.
Commissioner Walker?
Yes.
Commissioner Hill?
No.
Commissioner Mervin?
No.
Mayor Rapp?
No. Motion is defeated by 3-2 majority.
Knew that.
We're going to move into it briefly. I hope most of the comments was our commissioner comments. We're going to move into commissioner comments and concerns, and I'll start with Commissioner Mervin.
Mayor, but I don't have no comment, but only to say that it's sad. It's sad. Just in this city alone, how do you expect for things really to go in this city when things don't go, as y'all say, 2 to 3 vote, and you get rid of the city manager this year, you get another one next year, because they don't do what you say next year, you don't see, you get rid of that one. Next year, you get rid of that one, but you expect the city to move forward. Then you always use Belgrade as an example, but they leave that city manager, whether they're almost 15, 20 years in that seat. And they don't agree to everything that they city manager bring forth. But the thing about it, that they work together. They work together. They don't put this stuff out like false information out there where the city manager is not doing this, he's not doing that. What have you, Commissioner, if I can say, implemented so far in this city that help move this city forward more than, hey, y'all, we need to get rid of the city manager. We need to fire the attorney. We need to get rid of the mayor. We need to get rid of this. That's all the information that I hear out there the vice mayor is doing. Now, if you say you hear information that all y'all hear is, okay, I hear the citizens saying this, I hear information about the vice mayor, about the commissions. I hear information out there about me. Okay, so what do I need to do? I said, okay, Todd, you need to re-examine yourself. You need to do the right thing for the city. But to get out there and say, and to bring up stuff you hear, you the vice mayor of the city, and not one thing have you stood behind to help move this city forward as the vice mayor, but give out false information. That's all you have done.
You don't know what you're talking about.
So,
you don't know what you're talking about.
Loud to complete her thought.
She need to be completed. Okay, I don't have nothing else to say. She done said enough. The people see it. Maybe not these in here, but I can tell you what, the people on the other side of the camera see, because they already know how you was gonna talk. They already know. They already know how you was gonna. Because
I'm fair. I'm fair and I'm honest.
That's not fair.
If we can, Commissioner, let's wrap it up. In addition to comments from the Vice Mayor.
No, I said what I want. I said what I wanted to say. I mean, if you be honest, the man is not doing the job that I expected. Maybe y'all expect something less. He's not doing what I expect. I don't expect, listen, let me say this. When my citizens out there tell me that the city manager don't even return their calls, when I have people like today, engineers and stuff, saying when I go up there, they mention a name, but I'm not gonna even mention it. Because, reason why I'm not, because I went up there one time with another citizen, and and the way that lady talked to me was ridiculous. And it was at this trailer park that didn't have no lights, was running by generator. And I'm talking about a month ago from the hurricane. It's ridiculous. Somebody got to stand up for this, man. Somebody got to stand up for this. And we sit here and don't stand up while he's making this little smirk remark, arrogance and stuff like that, getting involved in things that he don't have the right to get involved in, and we let it happen. It is wrong. It is wrong. I can understand Mervin's passion for him. She like him. She thinks he's doing a good job, but he's not.
You give it a chance.
Okay, we done gave him 3 years.
Commissioner Walker, any final comments, ma'am?
I did. Yeah. I want to try to get off this. No. My thing is, all I'm going to say is sometimes I concur with you, because our citizens are being neglected. But let me tell you positive. I want us to acknowledge and he's a senior at the high school. He acknowledged him as for the school. Anyway, he's an honor roll. He got all A's. He's in an organization, and I want the commission to honor him. 8 all A's, all the A's from the.
If you can give that name to the clerk,
Bolden.
We'll add it to our next agenda. Try it.
Kawaji.
Yeah, Kawhi.
You have that name to the clerk, we can consider that at our next agenda.
I want him to come now. I mean, I want you to know now, so we can acknowledge it at the meeting, at the March meeting.
Okay, put forth a motion for the commission to honor Mr. Bolden for his scholastic achievement.
Thank you.
I need a second.
A second.
It had been moved by Commissioner Walker and second by Vice Mayor Holmes.
I have some more
questions.
I'm sorry.
Hearing none. Are you ready for vote? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Walker?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Holmes?
Yes.
Commissioner Hill?
Yes, and could they also, what about the other students? Do they have any other students?
If they acknowledge that they can be acknowledged too.
That's what I'm saying, the other students.
Yeah, maybe what you
That's
can
what I'm saying, because I know they're
we'll
going to be
have,
looking.
our clerk check with the school. If anybody else got like straight A's or near that type of grade, maybe we can give certificates to them all.
But I know he's
valedictorian.
Validated for other schools.
Okay.
But anyway,
Yes,
that's
no,
all
let's
I have to say.
Yes.
Good morning good night to everyone, and have a good night.
Yes.
Thank you, Commissioner Walker. Commissioner Hill, you got the final word.
Commissioner Mervin?
Yes.
Oh, we have the vote. Yeah.
Mayor Babb?
Yes, I'm sorry.
That's That's it.
Motion passed unanimously. Commissioner Hill.
Only thing I can say is fake news. Let's stop the fake news. Like Donald Trump, fake news. Stop it. Y'all have a good night, guys.
Be blessed. Commission meeting adjourned.
Fake news, my God. Remember you hear that about fake news?